Kia ora and welcome to the Creative Matters podcast, where we have inspiring conversations with New Zealand artists. I'm your host, Mandy Yarkich. These conversations are intimate, uplifting and insightful. The guests on this show have absolutely enriched my life, and I'm sure their stories will have the same effect on you. Thank you so much for joining me to listen to these amazing people speak about what drives them, the way they work, and their personal takes on life. Hi, and welcome back to Creative Matters. This week I'm speaking with Valerie Auersperg, also known as Valerism, and I am Valerism. Valerie is an Austrian artist living in Aotearoa and is now a New Zealand resident. Valerie creates acrylic paintings and digital drawings depicting pop-surreal scenes in a colourful, dreamlike manner. Her work brings a smile and sense of wonder to the viewer. Valerie explores the world inside and around herself, pairing the expected with the unusual. She focuses on themes such as memory, pop culture, and mental health.
Yeah, so my work is definitely very therapeutic. So I think one of the reasons I do what I do is because I need to do it almost. Like I've noticed if I don't do it for a while, I actually notice that I feel like almost clogged up. Like I just need to get it out on paper.
Yeah. Her work is a whimsical commentary on how our inner journeys, moods and situations are something that connect us. Valerie is a self-taught artist who has worked in fashion, animation and advertising. Art has always been her passion and side hustle, and finally she took the leap to become a full-time artist in 2020. We have a really fun, insightful chat about how Valerie processes her pregnancy through her work, the potentials of NFTs, the reasons why some of her characters are masked, and how she uses symbolism and narratives to express herself. Like her work, this episode will make you smile, I am sure. I hope you enjoy. Hello, Valerie.
Hi, Mandy.
It's so lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, and thank you so much for coming all the way to the city to see me.
It's lovely to be in your apartment, which is so funky and cool, like a sort of old school apartment.
Yeah, I really love it. It's an interesting apartment. I don't think there's a single right angle in the entire apartment.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Do you know what year it is?
I think it was built 1920s, something like that.
Yeah, so good, with really high stud, and complements your work so beautifully. You've got all your paintings up on the walls, which look incredible. And it's just so nice to come to somebody's home and studio and sort of actually see the work in real life after the research I've been doing. And it'll be really interesting to hear about your life in Austria and the other things that you have done. So can you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Of course. So, I was born in Austria, in a small city outside of Vienna. And I think like a lot of artists have always been creative, have always drawn. And I remember coming home from school and just drawing. It's just always come natural to me. And I even went to a art high school. So my parents were very supportive of it, but I, for some reason, never thought of art as a career or that could be a career. So after school, I studied fashion and then worked in fashion until I was about 23 when I had a burnout. And I realized that's way too young to have a burnout. This is not the career for me.
Yeah. And why do you think that happened?
I was working for a brand. So I was starting a brand with someone else, and we were working from Monday to Sunday from 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. And I was pretty much living off coffee and cigarettes. So there were a lot of factors that I could have there's a lot of things I could have done to avoid that burnout. But in a way, it was also good because I was at that age, I was very career oriented. I was like, I had a fixed plan of where I wanted to be, how I want to live my life. And I kind of was all about work. And then when that happened, I had to completely reevaluate what I actually want out of life. And I went traveling for a bit. And that's actually the first time I came to Australia and New Zealand back then. And then I went to the UK to study 3D animation because I always liked storytelling. And I thought that's a very good thing to do that. And worked in 3D animation for a bit before packing that up too and going to Australia.
Oh, wow.
And
how did you find the 3D animation? I mean, that must have been nice for you as someone who loved to draw.
Yeah, I really loved it. So I did a lot of the animating, and I just really loved, the storytelling part and just kind of bringing things alive.
And why did that come to an end, do you think?
Well, I was right in the global financial crisis when I finished and when I was looking for work and did some little jobs. And there was just not a lot around, especially in London at that time. And then I was kind of sick of the cold weather. I was like, where can I go where it's a bit warmer?
And so you obviously had a real sort of yearning for travel.
Yeah. And I feel like back then I was also just so brave. I didn't really think things through. Like there was no plan, or there was no how am I going to do it financially, or what am I going to do when I get there. It was just like pack my bags and go.
Yeah.
And I just had such a trust that things will work out. And things always did.
Yeah, which is amazing, isn't it? I think part of it is that sort of naivety of youth.
Yeah, I think so. So I miss that now. That blind bravery of just doing things and just.
But then, you're obviously a person, a younger person who you kind of knew what you want and you weren't afraid to make changes and sort of go down another road.
Yeah.
Which not all young people are good at.
No, I think I'm also lucky because I always felt like I had the support of my parents. Like I always felt like I had a safety net. If something went horribly, horribly wrong, like they were always there. So I think I'm very lucky in that sense that I could be a bit braver because I had the love of my family that I could always fall back on.
Yeah.
Or move back in with my parents if something went super horribly wrong, and I wouldn't. Yeah.
So were you actually at that time creating on the side?
I was. So when I studied 3D animation, I was drawing a lot on the side. So I was doing a lot of character development and things like that. And then when I moved to Australia, that's when I actually started more seriously drawing and started an Instagram account and I even started a Twitter account, which I never use anymore. But actually putting myself out there and drawing, and it was all digital back then, just because I was moving around a lot and traveling. It was a really easy way to take my art materials and my artwork with me. But I wasn't at the point where I was selling or wanted to sell. It was more just a self-expression. And then towards the end of being in Australia, I did my first mural. And that's where I was like, that's something I really enjoy. I really just love expressing myself and love drawing and love painting.
And what was that mural like?
It was on a big garage door in Bondi in Sydney. And it was weird to do, but it was fun. It was kind of like of a lady with like her hair kind of going out to the sides and then all sorts of little things happening in her hair. It was very narrative already, so I feel like I was very close to my style that I have now.
Yeah, that's interesting. And did it look like, the same kind of style that you have now?
Yeah,
as well?
So it had the black outlines and it had like the filled in bold colors, and it's.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
We've got your partner, I presume,
has
arrived in the apartment. Hello. Which is the joy of podcast recording at somebody's house.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
This is Chris, it's Mandy.
That's nice. It's a nice little, something a bit different.
Yeah.
So you had that style. I mean, how old were you at that point?
I was 28 at that point. But I think I realized actually when I went back to Austria this year, I realized that my dad has always had lots of comic books and we always watched a lot of cartoons. And I feel like that really influenced my style as well. Like just that comic-y, the black outlines.
Yeah.
Like that definitely I realized influenced it.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happened then after the mural making? You were obviously thinking, this is something that I'd like to do more of.
So then shortly after that, my visa expired and I couldn't stay in Australia. So I thought, I'm not quite ready to go back to Austria. So I might just hop over to New Zealand for a year. And then I met my partner 3 weeks after arriving here. And so I stayed.
Wow. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And we were just saying before that, it would have been, I can just imagine your mum thinking, yay, Val's on her way home. She's just about back with me. And then you go to New Zealand and meet this lovely Chris, who I've just met. Yeah. And since then you've been here for another 10 years.
Yeah, I've been here for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I first got here, I started working in graphic design. So I kind of completely self-taught because I needed a job. So I thought I'd like doing creative things and I'm good with computers. So I kind of just fell into it. And so I did that for a few years, but still doing digital drawings and then starting to also, putting myself out there more and selling the odd piece here and there, becoming a bit braver to just also telling people they're for sale. And then it wasn't until end of 2019 when I was invited to come to an art fair in San Francisco that I decided, that's it, that's my sign. I'm going to do that full time. And then at the beginning of 2020, I quit my job. I was working for an advertising agency as an art director. And so I quit my job and then went to San Francisco to do that art fair, and it went so well. Like I sold a lot. And so I thought that's clearly a sign that this is...
How amazing.
I'm on the right track.
And how did these people find you?
They found me on Instagram. So just,
Amazing.
Just goes to show Instagram, as much as it is it is a pain and it's a distraction, there's also a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of opportunities through it. Like a lot of people found me through it. A lot of projects I've gotten because they saw me on Instagram. So
that's really cool. And so that was really the beginning of your full-time career.
Yeah.
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 But it's amazing in your career that you've, done the graphic design, you've done the art director as, in advertising, you've done the fashion, you've done the animation. I mean, you are a real go-getter, obviously. And you did have that initial degree, but you've done lots of different things, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. And then I just realized a lot, like we're so lucky nowadays that you can learn so much online and you can just, I don't know, I feel like if you're really interested in something, you find ways and you learn things. And for me, it was also a lot, if I had to do it, I just found a way to learn it and I found a way.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you had the guts to think, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite brave.
Which I don't know if it's a good thing, if I should have stuck at it a bit longer or if it was actually, but yeah. Like now whenever I see someone that's like 17, 18 stressing out about what they should do with their life, I'm always like, you don't have to figure out your whole life right now. Just figure out the next step.
That's so true.
And then like we live for a fairly long time.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So.
You don't have to, it's not like the old days where you become a secretary for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Which is great.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah. And I guess all of those experiences have really informed what you do now in your art practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So my art is still like, there's always a story. It's very narrative. It's very kind of pop arty, almost a little bit cartoony, but not. For a long time, I had a problem when people said it was cartoony. I don't know why.
You didn't like that.
I didn't like it because I felt like it kind of trivializes it. But then actually it has cartoony elements. And it's not actually a bad thing.
No.
It's like, I think just a kind of maybe the style a little bit, but it's probably almost more illustrative than cartoony.
Yeah. And do you think, all through those different careers that you had, do you think you were always searching for your art practice or kind of hoping that eventually that would kind of happen?
I think I was always searching for something that I could do that would come from me and that I could do independently without it needing anyone else or anything else to it.
Yeah, and having a little bit more sort of say in what you were
Yeah,
creating.
exactly. Where I always felt that need of putting things out on paper or drawing things. So I've always kind of doodled and drawn, and like all my notebooks are full of drawings, and it's kind of like it's always been there.
And do you think that's a kind of form of therapy or communication or expression for you that's been in your life for a long time?
Yeah,
which is amazing.
So, yeah, which is really good. I feel very grateful that I have that. That I know if I feel bad, just put it out on paper, and it kind of makes me feel better. It's just
that's incredible. So let's start talking about your actual art practice. So for somebody who doesn't know your work, could you give us a little description of how your paintings and your drawings look and feel? And then we can start talking about, what's behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. So all my paintings and drawings are very colourful. They're very pop arty and narrative. So it's always like little scenes of kind of, I like to call it scenes of optimism and escapism. There's usually some iteration of myself in all of the drawings and paintings. And I like to add little nostalgic elements, little 90s toys or little smileys to everything. So I like people going up to my paintings and drawings and just kind of discovering little details and that make them smile or that maybe remind them of something they had in their childhood, or if that's a real memory or a perceived memory, but kind of something that triggers something in them.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. And most of your works do have people in them, don't they?
Yeah, they all do.
And then with the people, there's the little toys like you were talking about, which I guess probably come from your own childhood, in the sort of 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And also possibly from branding and advertising.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, and it's interesting because like we connect so much with brands, like so much nostalgia is connected to like brands we were around when we were children. And it's kind of, it's so washed into our upbringing, into our lives.
Yeah, and you're sort of subconscious almost.
Yeah, and it's quite nice actually to also include those things, and then you go to the other side of the world and someone on the other side of the world had the exact same experience and is connecting with it the same way that you connect with it, even though you grew up so differently. And I quite like that about pop culture things.
Yeah, well, it is definitely pop culture, isn't it? You're sort of taking elements from a certain time and then kind of playing with that and playing with those ideas.
Yeah,
which is really cool. And just looking at your beautiful 4 square works you have on your wall, you like to leave a lot of white around your illustrations or your paintings.
Yeah, I've actually only just started now with my latest series. I just started to fill it all in and to put them into a bigger scene.
Oh,
so that's kind of a bit of a transition I'm in at the moment.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
But yeah, before that it was all like, because I felt like I quite like the concentration to be on that one element or the one scene without the distractions from anything behind it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And it's very visually striking and effective. Yeah. Oh, I look forward to seeing you putting them into an actual, like a landscape. I guess. Yeah. And the colour, you've said it's quite pop arty, so it's quite sort of flat colour.
Yeah.
And a very fine black outline.
Yeah. So it's usually, very flat, very popping, very bright colours.
And it has that sort of pop-surrealism or sort of surrealist kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because it's all quite unexpected, isn't it?
Yeah.
And potentially unlikely. And you're combining things in different ways that don't necessarily normally go together.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and you're playing with scale quite a lot, aren't you?
Yeah.
I love
definitely do that.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Like the one up there with Fortune Cookie. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that's that one's called Fortuna, and it's a girl sitting behind a giant fortune cookie, and as she opens it, inside the fortune cookie is a mirror, which is actually a mirror foil on the painting. And that was all about how we make our own fortune. So you are your fortune, basically. So that's how that came along.
I love it, and it's really effective having the the painting on the white canvas then with that sort of mirror paper inside is just something quite different. You sort of initially don't realise it's there almost. Yeah, so it's kind of like a mixed media painting.
Yeah, and I feel like in that one, especially if there was a background, I think you wouldn't see the fortune cookie or you wouldn't see the mirror. You would be distracted by things going on in the background. So I quite like that you just focus. And there's still a lot going on, but you kind of, there's a focus.
Yeah, and it's a really lovely composition. It's kind of, it's not necessarily centered, but it's sort of everything in it is kind of in a space together, interacting with each other almost.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Yeah, and the fortune cookie is like big. Yeah. So that's where you've sort of played with the scale, which is interesting. And then you've got little dinosaur watching on.
Yeah, that's like, again, like that toy, that nostalgic kind of plastic toy element.
Yeah. And were you thinking anything deep by putting the dinosaur in there, or did you just like the...
I think I just liked the feeling it gave me, that plastic dinosaur, because it's such a... I think like for me, living so far away from home, all these little nostalgic toy elements give me a real sense of home and comforts and just safety in a way. So, yeah.
And it reminds you of your childhood.
Yeah. And even though I don't think I had a plastic dinosaur, sometimes it's perceived memories where I see something that still reminds me of childhood and lovely times and simple times.
Yeah. It's so nice you have such fond memories of your childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess being away, so far away, that becomes even more important to you.
It does, yeah. And I don't know how many of my fond memories really happened, or if I just have such an overall fondness of it that I forgot the bad things that happened, which I feel very lucky that I can do that.
And then back to this fortune cookie. There is a person behind the fortune cookie, and you've put a sort of bunny mask onto that person. Is there any reason for that in particular?
Not the bunny in particular, but the mask. I think a lot of my drawings, the protagonist, I say, has a mask on. I think it's a little bit also hiding behind something, like not fully showing yourself, and that's also me. Like I wasn't ready, and I'm still not to fully show myself. So that was kind of a subconscious way of, I'm in there, but I'm not. So I'm kind of, that's me, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like I could be anyone, and this could be anyone.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And in these 4 paintings that I'm looking at, one has the bunny mask, one has an umbrella over their head so you can't see their face. Yeah. One has a panda head and another one has a zebra mask. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And, you know, I think it's quite a neat thing because a bit like what Josh Lancaster was saying in the previous episode, that people can then sort of put themselves into that painting.
Yeah.
And they're not sort of, you're leaving that part of the story open in some ways.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And I also like the just playfulness of dressing up, which is, again, it's just such a easy way to dress up. Just put a mask on and you're someone else, or you kind of can just be who you want to be.
Yeah. Take on a different persona.
Yeah.
And there's quite a lot of the pink flamingos going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is cool. I've actually got one of those in my garden. Well, so what's any significance in particular with them?
I don't know, I love flamingos, and I love, again, like that, especially, you know, that flamingo floaty in the pool. For me, that's just such a summertime, easygoing pop of color.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I like the feeling of it. And
good vibes.
And I just love flamingos also because I love how they are born those little grey babies, and then they eat the plankton, become these vibrant pink birds.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of happy, you know, they're sort of happy and happy-go-lucky kind of characters, aren't they?
That's how I feel. Like they always look like they're smiling.
Yeah.
Or at least in my drawings.
Yeah, they really do. It's so interesting. And then the way all these sort of different characters and where you've placed them and what they're doing is really interesting, and even simple things like the body language comes through quite strongly through your work as well. So obviously, as you said, these works are narrative and referring to lots of different things. But how do you actually come up with the idea?
It often starts with a feeling that I have, or sometimes I'd see. It sometimes can also be maybe an image I saw or a conversation I had, and then little bits stick in my head. And then I often write them. So in my notes app on my phone, I often write little words down or little phrases. And then kind of that's how they develop. And then, because I do even my paintings, I still do them digitally. And so it's almost, then a composition of the things I heard. And then as I draw it kind of comes to life, and I add elements. And then it's a process.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not an intuitive painter where I can just stand in front of a canvas and start painting. So there's
see what happens.
There's a lot of planning involved and a lot of
And to what extent is it a narrative or a story that you're trying to tell?
Well, that's very personal. I guess it's always like what's happening in my life at the moment. So, for example, I'm working on a pregnancy series at the moment, and I'm pregnant. So that's like telling the story of how I feel throughout the pregnancy and what's coming at me from the outside and from the inside.
And what's happening on the inside.
Yeah. And I quite like how some of my drawings other people can connect with, like no matter where they're from or what their backgrounds. Like I feel like we all go through such similar things inside of us. Like we all have those very similar feelings and very similar anxieties and very similar joys. So it's such a great connector.
Yeah, totally. And you're sitting here with this beautiful belly and your son is coming to meet us early November.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, that's exciting, and it is a fantastic way to communicate, I suppose. And there's so many things that you go through as a pregnant woman. And as you say, that most women go through.
Yeah.
Excuse me, during that time. So tell us about your pregnancy series.
So, as I said, that's all about how I'm feeling and what's coming to me. And it's because for me, it's such an anxious time. Like my life is about to completely change. And it's just really dealing with that change in my body, my life, my feelings. And as I said before, it's very therapeutic. So I almost need to do it. So I've got 4 paintings done, or like paintings and drawings done so far, and I intend to do 10 in total. So I want to do not just the pregnancy, but also through birth and through then those first few weeks of having a new baby. So I want to continue that journey. You
could almost do 2 series, the pregnancy series and then the new baby series.
Yeah.
Which would be so amazing to see in a gallery.
Yeah, so that's my plan with it. So to finish it and to like now start applying for galleries to get them into a show or to do my own show just to show the whole series. Because it's the first time I've done like a full series. Before it was all still connected and all still me, but this time it's really got a quite topic specific. And it's quite nice because it's quite a niche audience I'm addressing, but the audience that I'm addressing, they're really connecting with it. So I've had people message me just saying, that's exactly what I went through. Or like I've got one of the paintings, it's called Advice Avalanche, and it's got this pregnant girl lying in the front of it with a book that says what not to do. And then those inflatable, what are they called? Those like that they have at car dealerships, those wacky inflatable guys.
Oh, yeah.
With signs saying like, do this and do that.
Yes, those tall things that float around in the wind.
Yeah. And it's kind of all about how as soon as you get pregnant, you get all this advice from everyone what to do or how they did things, which is really nice and which I welcome. But sometimes it's quite conflicting advice you get from different people. And it's then quite hard to decide what you actually want to do for yourself or what works for you.
Totally. And that I love that Advice Avalanche illustration. Is that a painting or an
It's a
illustration?
painting.
It's a painting, that one. Yeah, and we'll talk soon about the process of painting and drawing that you do. And it's so great. I love the way you've got you're lying with your head on a pillow, and you've got your legs up on a sweet dispenser.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those like gummy ball or like chewing gum dispensers, and it's got a lot of little smileys all with different emotions. So that's kind of in the whole pregnancy series. I've got a lot of those smileys because I feel like that's been one of the biggest things, just that emotional roller coaster you're on the entire time. So it's kind of, that machine dispenses all the different emotions all the time.
I love that. It's brilliant. And your work is so interesting. The more you look at it, the more you realise, like, oh my gosh, it's got actual smiley gum stoppers. And then the flamingo is actually standing on your tummy.
Also wanting to butt in.
Another appearance. And then I think it's really clever, again, that you're not wearing a mask this time, but you've got the What to Do book sort of oversized and in front of your face. Yeah, which is clever. And then this one's actually in a landscape, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's when I started putting things into landscapes. And this one also has there's a little cactus in the background with a balloon floating off it. So that's kind of it's a unicorn balloon. So it's kind of that loveliness of being pregnant, but also that prickliness of being scared every step of the way that something might go wrong or something might burst that lovely balloon.
Oh, yeah, it's so rich. Every element that you include in your work has so much meaning. Yeah, and it's very, you use symbolism obviously in a big way, and metaphors and that
definitely.
kind of thing. Yeah, so great. It'd be great for children to use and then to write stories too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And then I love the other pregnancy series work that I'm just looking at, which is a very pregnant woman with a little bear head.
Yeah.
And you can just see the hair coming out, the woman's hair coming out from underneath. And then you can actually see into the pregnant belly.
Yeah.
So that's called Mansion Expansion.
Yeah. So
I love your titles, by the way. So good. So can you tell us about that one?
Yeah. So that was when my belly really started to pop, and it felt like he was building himself a little mansion inside me. And the way I drew it inside is kind of, do you remember the Polly Pockets toys? Mm-hmm. So again, from so it's almost like a little Polly Pocket, little world that he's building for himself in there, where it's just expanding and expanding. And
I love that.
Still is.
Yeah. So clever.
And it's just got all the little, there's 3 little blocks on there with the initials of me and my partner's name, and then we'll probably name him Oscar, so his initial is on there, and then there's a little heart balloon. There's a picture on the wall of a mountain, which is kind of like my Austrian heritage. So there's a lot.
That's really beautiful.
And I've kind of drawn him as a whale in a pool that's kind of almost too small for him already. So
yeah. Oh, it's so clever. I mean, they're so visually beautiful and funky and modern and cool. You've really sort of got that nailed. And then to hear the stories behind what you're thinking, it's fascinating. They're incredible works.
Thank you so much.
I think I have to get one in my house. Give one to my daughter who's just had a baby herself. And then I love the cheeky one, the cheek of it, where a woman's scratching a bum. And that is quite different in some ways.
Yeah, it was there's 2 or 3 that are quite different, where I kind of just played. There's not actually that much behind those ones. It's kind of
just having some fun.
Yeah, I think I was just having some fun, and then I kind of
which is probably good in between the more.
So, and they're all smaller works as well, so they're all 10 by 10 inch smaller works,
which is quite cool to do.
Yeah,
just kind of in between the other stuff that's a little bit more deep.
Yeah.
And,
it's like a palette cleanser.
Yeah, exactly. A little brief sort of moment in between the other stuff. Yeah. Well, it's just very clever. And, I hope everyone can check out your work on your website or on our blog. And it'd be nice to now talk about your painting versus your drawing. Mm-hmm. So how do they, what's the difference between both?
Well, I used to only do digital drawings. That was, like I said before, because I was traveling a lot and it was just an easy way. And it was also a safe way for me, because when you do something digitally, you can change the colors really easily. You can move elements around. You can, there's a lot of editing you can do before you're happy to send it out into the world. Whereas painting, you kind of, once the paint's on there, you can still change the colors a little bit, but it's much harder and you can't just move one element from one side to the other easily. So it took me a long time to be, I guess, not brave enough, but to just take that step. And I almost felt the need to, have something in my hand and actually put the brush to canvas and just be in the physical world again. And I like when I paint that they're imperfect, that they're not, not every line is perfect, not every color is perfect, and you can see not every color is completely flat. Like you can still see the brush marks, and you can still see, like when you go close, you can see all those like lovely details. And I really, that was hard at the beginning, but now I really like that about them.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So I still sketch everything digitally. So I still kind of create the compositions and the colors roughly, but then obviously once you paint it, the colors are always slightly different. And sometimes I start painting and I change little things or add little things to it.
It's very clever. And then I saw in your studio you had a work in progress painting on the easel.
Yeah.
And then you've got the picture of the digital version.
Yeah.
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 So you are quite sort of calculated in how you want things to be.
Yeah, definitely.
And you do quite a lot of experimenting and playing until you're happy.
Yeah. So definitely digitally, I like, it's almost like a collage I do, where I know what elements I want in there and I know what I want to say, and then I kind of digitally can still move things around and make things bigger or smaller as I feel like it fits in the composition.
So good.
So then when I paint it, I know that that's the size of that element.
Yeah. And how do you transfer the drawing, the digital image to the canvas?
I've got it's almost like an overhead projector. So I kind of project it onto the canvas and then I just roughly sketch out where everything is, and then I draw in the details, and then I start painting.
So good. And yeah, I love it that it's just slightly more painterly, I guess. It's a nice kind of, it fits so beautifully with the digital drawings and then also the paintings. They're so similar.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you've got to come in a bit closer to see the actual painterly side of the paintings.
Yeah, which I like, which is another
nice.
It's another layer of discovery. I think I like that when I see a painting and then I go close and I see all these little details, and it just makes it so much more human and so much more, I don't know.
Has more impact.
Yeah.
And then can you imagine ever actually drawing straight onto your canvas?
Not at the moment.
It's not the way you work, I guess.
No, I think I'm much too analytical in a way.
But it does, like you say, give that opportunity for really exploring and sort of modifying and refining.
Yeah. And because also it's quite a long process, the digital sketch. So I start something and then I'd go the next day and I'd add something, or I'd see something or hear something or remember something, and then I'd be like, oh, that'd be great here. So it's a long process until I'm actually happy and I paint it.
Yeah. And what is the black fine line on your paintings? Is that a pen or just a fine paint?
Yeah, it's a Posca pen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I try to do it with a brush, but I don't have a very steady hand.
And it's not the effect you want, really.
No, yeah. I mean, it's still, the lines are still not perfectly smooth because, as I said, I don't have a very steady hand.
But that's
I'd be a terrible surgeon.
But I think that's a nice element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it so much more like, it's done by hand. It's not a computer.
But it's interesting, isn't it? The whole computer way of making work. I mean, I guess once it wasn't really valued, but it's still such a creative way of working.
Yeah. I found it very hard when I did only digital things, and I sold them as limited edition prints. And I now sell some of them as open edition prints as well. And I just found it very hard for people to value them the same way that they value a painting, even though the same amount of thought and the same amount of effort went into it. But for some reason, it's still hard for people, I think, to connect to something that's a print that you can just reproduce 1,000 times. And whereas a painting is just a one-off. And yes, you can have prints of a painting, but it's still the original is still, there is an original.
Yeah. I guess that's the difference. There is an original.
Which I quite liked when the whole NFT thing came around, that with NFTs it's a great way to sell digital originals. So that was a way for digital artists to...
But do you think that's changing? I mean, I'd like to think that it is, that sort of perception is changing.
I think slowly it is changing, yeah. And I think also with more people feeling so comfortable in the digital space and being so at home in the digital space, it's definitely something that I think will change a lot, or is changing already. And yeah, as I said, with NFTs and NFTs now being included, I think Instagram, you can now also show and sell your NFTs on Instagram. And I think they definitely have a feature on there now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So do you sell some of your work?
I've done 2 NFTs. I've sold 1, and I'm kind of very pulled between the digital and the physical, and I really enjoy painting at the moment. So I'm kind of put that on hold a little bit, but it's definitely, I can definitely see it becoming more
a way to sell work.
Yeah. And also just with the whole metaverse and those digital worlds that are being built now, I think as people get more comfortable with those, and there are galleries in those digital worlds already that show only digital works. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think I actually need to do a podcast on NFTs because it's a big discussion, isn't it? And a lot of people don't know much about it, including me. I think I have one of my prints on there through a friend. He sort of put it on just to see what would happen.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing's happened, needless to say. But yeah, it's quite an interesting thing. It would be good to talk to an expert on the show because I think a lot of our audience would be quite intrigued.
Yeah. It's definitely a very interesting thing. And I guess if you making an NFT is not hard. It's just, but then it's the same as, it's definitely not what people said, a get rich quick scheme thing.
No. Yeah.
It's just like selling other art. You need to have people that know you or that want to buy it. You still need to sell it.
It's just another avenue, I guess.
Yeah.
Like another gallery.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there was one that I wanted to talk about called The Memories We Sit On.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that has a real connection with your family back home and your life in Austria. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So that's a painting I actually painted during the lockdown. And the lockdown was very hard for me because usually I try and go back to Austria once a year. It was quite hard for me not to be able to go back for 3 years. And so that's it's a girl kind of sitting, leaning on a chair, I guess, with the feet on a chair and looking underneath it. And under the chair, there's all these 90s toys, like there's a Tamagotchi and there's like a little troll doll, and then there's what is this there? There's a smiley balloon that's slightly deflated. There's some Lego. There's some Hello Kitty things, and all things that kind of remind me of my childhood. So it was very, looking back almost at that and just finding that comfort of home and memory.
And then you were sitting on a chair. Well, the person in the work is on this chair, beautiful big armchair with gorgeous designs on the back. So does that have any significance? Yeah. So on the back of the chairs is these Hungarian flowers, and my grandmother was Hungarian, so that's always. And she was often wearing blouses with those Hungarian flowers stitched on them or embroidered. Yeah, I guess is the word. Yeah, on them. So I'm very. Beautiful. So just that embroidery and those colorful flowers. So yeah, maybe the colorfulness also comes from that because that's just something. Yeah, and the color, your use of color is beautiful. I mean, it is brightly colored, isn't it? But it's also sort of has a pastel feel about it as well. Yeah. I'm not sure how that can be.
I think because it's so flat, it kind of seems brighter, but then the color itself, it's never like a neon or like super
dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a slightly sort of muted version.
Yeah, a little bit.
In some ways, but it still has that feeling of brightly coloured.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. But
yeah,
you're right.
Sorry, I might be wrong in my view. Yeah, and that must be so therapeutic for you to be able to kind of process some of that homesickness and those feelings through your painting.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely helps. And it kind of.
So now you're a New Zealand resident?
I'm a New Zealand resident, so I've been here almost 10 years, so I feel like an honorary Kiwi.
You have been here for 10 years. You've been a full-time artist for 2 years. I wonder if you would have gone down the same path if you'd gone back to Austria all those years ago.
I think I would have found it much harder because I feel like when I was studying, I was hanging around with a lot of the other, like, I guess, people that studied art. And I just always felt like I was not, I don't know, they were very serious. It's very serious and it's very kind of, I don't really know the right words for it, but I always felt like that's not really my scene. It's like they would, or I would think that they would find what I do very trivial in a way, because it's not so deep and dark and kind of,
tortured.
Yeah. I don't know. So I feel like I would have had a much harder time because I would have felt like I'm definitely not good enough. Like I think my imposter syndrome would have been times 1,000 back there.
Really? That's really.
Whereas I feel like here, I feel like much more the freedom of expressing myself and yeah.
Is that because of New Zealand and the way we are in New Zealand, or do you think it's because you didn't know as many people and you weren't comparing yourself to your peers that you've sort of grown up with?
Probably both a little bit, yeah. It's probably made it easier to do it here because I knew less people, and so I felt like there weren't as many eyes on it, even though on Instagram everyone sees it, but it was a bit safer. But also I feel like New Zealanders are just much lovelier and kind of more accepting. Yeah.
That's nice that you feel like that.
Yeah. Obviously not. Austrians are very lovely too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they're not lovely.
We love Austrians.
We love Austrians too. But just generally, I feel like the feeling of is much more accepting.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It's I mean, it must be hard for you to be so far away. But do you ever see yourself going back?
I don't really know. Like, I can see myself going back for maybe a couple of years, or like ideally I'd like to be here for a few months a year and then over there for a few months a year. So ideally I'd love to build my career so I can maybe organize a show there, go there, do that, or paint a mural and go there and then come back here.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, and obviously ideally I'd have a child that happily comes with me.
Amazing traveller.
Amazing traveller, loves changing schools all the time.
But that's a great plan, and that you can make that happen. I mean, just put your mind to it and do it.
Yeah, so that's kind of my plan to do that, because I don't know if I could live there full time, but I definitely don't want to not spend a lot of time there either. So.
Very cool. Well, we're very, as I said earlier, happy to have you here. And let's just go on to your sort of more commercial side of your business. I love your, I don't know what you'd call it, I guess your sort of branding or your logo, you could call it, is I am Valerism or Valerism, which is very cool. I love that. And it's quite unique. So can you tell us how that came about?
That's actually came from when I was still studying fashion, and we had to come up with a brand name for our label. And then I came up with Valerism, and it was kind of, I just always really liked it because my work is so personal and it's almost like a movement for myself. And it was also, I liked being able to hide behind it. So it was like Valerism, but I can still be Valerie and no one knows it's me. Like they know my work, but they don't know me. That was kind of what I liked about it. Whereas now I'm in a little bit of a transition phase again, where I'm actually ready to quote unquote come out as myself and don't hide behind the Valerism. But then I also like it because it really fits my work. I feel like a synonym fits my work.
Totally.
So yeah, I'm not sure if it confuses people if they know me as Valerism, but they also know me as Valerie Auersperg. So
you might have to put a question on Instagram and get some feedback.
Yeah, that would actually
from
be
your
interesting.
Audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally do think it fits so well with your work, and it's quite a cool sort of brand.
Yeah.
I think there's no reason why you can't have that branding, but also have your name.
Yeah.
Have both.
I mean, yeah. So I feel like I'm just going to write that for now and then see.
Yeah.
Because, my website is valerism.com and then my Instagram handle is I am Valerism. So Valerism is very present in my online presence.
Yeah, which I think is cool. I do. I think it's really modern.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think I might keep it.
Yeah, I think you should. I vote keep it.
And also my name is so long.
Yeah.
And then trying to spell my name for someone, it's just...
Yeah, it's tricky. And it's pronounced Auersperg.
Yes.
Which I have been practicing and had to write it phonetically before I could get it right. But it's a bit of a mouthful for New Zealanders. So it's not something we're familiar with.
No.
A lot of us aren't. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to have. You know, people know your name still, know the artist's name, but you appear under that brand, or however you want to put it. And just talking about, you putting yourself out there a little bit more and putting, photos of you and telling your audience what you're all about personally, I guess. Is that something that you're working on? Yeah,
that's definitely something I'm working on because of, like, a lot of people told me that people like seeing the artist behind the artwork, but I've struggled showing my face on, let's say, my Instagram feed, but I'm kind of getting better. So the recent reels that I put up, I've actually showed myself as well, and kind of not just, you can't just only see my hand. And it's kind of, it's a bit of a learning process to get comfortable showing my face.
And what is it that makes you uncomfortable?
I'm not really sure. I think it's, again, that hiding behind something. It's a quite comfortable hiding, I think.
Maybe you need to get a few masks and panda hats. And you could appear as one of your paintings.
I would actually love that.
That would be fun.
Make me a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And you could dress up and hold your flamingo and you'd be set.
Just fully embody. It's gone full circle again, coming from in me outside and then in me again.
Yeah, I like it. That would be fun. It would be funny. And you're not connected at the moment with a gallery in particular?
No. So I've so far been quite lucky to sell a lot on my Instagram, through my website or newsletters. But I feel like now I'm starting to look into galleries and have started approaching galleries as well, because I just would really like to. Yeah. I guess also expand my audience and just really show my work in a gallery, because it's so different taking photos of your work or people actually seeing it. Because I think a lot of my work doesn't, or not that it doesn't photograph well, but I'm not very good at photographing it. And then my partner isn't super light. Like, we don't have the best light sources here. So, I just like to, and I like seeing, so when I did that one art fair, I just really liked seeing people's reactions. Yeah. Like, that brings me so much joy, seeing people going up to and then discovering something, or like talking about it, or putting a smile on their face. It's the best feeling. Yeah, and your work is definitely that kind of work that makes you giggle to yourself and, just sort of privately have a bit of a laugh. Yeah, definitely. Which is great. And they do work so beautifully together, even just looking at the four that you've put together on your wall. Yeah. They really speak to each other, don't they? Yeah. And that's a nice thing of having it shown in a gallery on the wall, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, whether it's a gallery or you create your own exhibition in a space. That's what I was thinking, especially with that series I'm doing now. I'd like to really show that as a full series and, maybe organize my own show. And I can imagine those prints in that pregnancy series just working so well in pregnant maternity wear shops and
anything to do with pregnancy,
Yeah.
they would really work so well, even making cards that people can give at baby showers.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, there's a huge
about
market there.
Yeah.
And then if you just keep doing that with, all the different parts of your child growing up.
Yeah.
Newborn, mum with a newborn series.
Yeah.
Mum with a kid who's just started school.
Yeah.
I mean, you could actually, there's so much you could be telling through that.
I'm quite curious how I'll show him, if I'll show him as a human or if I'll show him, because in the one mansion expansion painting, he's a little whale that's kind of swimming inside of me. So I wonder, once he's out, if he'll appear in my paintings as an animal or as a little human, like how...
I don't feel like he is going to be a human.
Yeah, I don't think so either for some
And
reason.
I wonder if he'd have like one animal that represents him, or if he'd be lots of different.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be different animals depending on what's happening.
Yeah, probably, depending on
or toys.
how he's behaving.
Yeah, exactly. You're a dinosaur today. And you're a lovely, happy flamingo.
Yeah, finally, I've got my flamingo.
That. But that's the beautiful thing about your work. It's so symbolic.
Yeah.
That you can kind of really play with that.
Yeah.
You? Yeah.
And I feel like it's also then easier for other people to connect with it if it's not like so concrete, if it's like more abstract.
I think so. If you had a baby in there, there'd be some people who don't relate to that.
Yeah.
But I guess you could do the baby with a mask on.
Yeah.
Possibly.
He'd probably have a mask.
Yeah. It'd be really interesting to see where you take that. I'll be watching. And you also do some commercial projects. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've done a few murals, which, I really love doing. I was very scared at first just because of the scale, but then I quite like the end product. It's just, and I love the process as well, just painting on a wall, and it's just such a cool thing to do. So I'd love to do more murals.
Yeah, and your murals are beautiful, and you do the same process of putting it on.
Yeah.
On the computer.
Yeah, same thing. And especially with murals, I think it's even more important because then you can show the clients this is what it's going to look like. You can mock it up on the wall and they can imagine it. I think I'd be very scared to do that all freehand, and then the client would come and be like, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, exactly. And you do some graphic design in magazines and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I still do a bit of graphic design work on the side where I do like I lay out magazines, I do websites, I do all sorts of bits and bobs just to kind of for an extra little income. Because I feel like if I'd have that huge financial pressure to sell a certain amount, I feel like that'll almost stifle my creativity a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that feeling.
Yeah. And then I would maybe paint things just to sell them rather than like just paint them because they genuinely come from inside of me.
That's right, literally.
Yeah.
And you work your Instagram page really well. It's a really great way to learn more about you. And I'll put the links on your blog post for those things.
Thank you.
And you do have that email database. And
I've got
look after your audience.
Yeah, I've been very bad with newsletters. I used to send them out every few months, and now I haven't sent one out probably in over a year. So I've got to really get that going again. And I've also realized, I don't know when it was maybe last year when Instagram was down for a day. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, what am I going to do if like that's my biggest kind of audience income source, like, and that's where I realized I have to have an alternative, because if Instagram isn't around anymore, I need to still be able to reach my audience.
That's true. Yeah, it's a good backup, I guess. But, I do feel like Instagram is such a great way to communicate and share. And I think your audience who subscribe to your email are probably following you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I kind of think, I feel like I've already expressed these things or communicated these things, and the email is just kind of repeating.
I feel like that's why I feel like I don't feel the need as much to send something out. But then sometimes people don't see things I post. No. And so if they get into their inbox, they'll probably look at it more than just for a millisecond.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's still very valid. So I'm kind of working on building that out a little bit more.
Yeah, it does have its place.
And it's probably more future-proof as well, because we've seen what happens with Facebook. Now it's not as popular anymore. So the same thing might happen with Instagram in 10 years, that everyone's on TikTok only and not on Instagram. And then everything you built on your Instagram is suddenly worth nothing anymore.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's a bit more of a sort of personal connection to individuals.
Yeah.
Having their email.
Yeah.
So, Valerism.
Yes.
We are at that point of talking about or asking your final 4 questions, which is amazing. It's gone very quickly. Really enjoyed talking with you. Your favourite artists of all time, and how have they influenced your work?
I found that question very difficult because I don't have a favourite artist of all time. So there's a few artists I really like now, which is like contemporary artists, like I don't know if you know Sage Barnes, Ashley Longshore. I really like Dabs and Myler. They're like a Australian artist duo.
And are they creating work that's similar to yours?
Yeah, they're all of them are very pop arty kind of work. So I'm very drawn to that. Yeah. Kind of work.
And what about the traditional pop artists from the 50s?
I do like them, but I don't think I'm connecting with them as much. I think because so much of it is what's happening now and in our culture that,
Yeah, more current.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll put links to those 3 names
Yes.
on your blog post. And do you have a favourite New Zealand artist?
I don't have a favorite. Like, there's a few whose work I really like. I really like Rebecca Terborg's work. I really like Milaki's work. I think he does really cool work.
And what would you say to your younger artistic self?
Probably don't compare yourself to others as much. I think I was very lucky growing up in a world without Instagram and Facebook, and I still compared myself to others. And keep going and just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's very good advice. And why do you think, I think I kind of know the answer, and you probably already talked about it, but why do you think you make this kind of pop surrealist work? I
think because it just brings me so much joy, and it's so therapeutic for me. And so even if I'm going through some really rough times, it's still like when you see the drawing, it kind of like still has a happiness in it. So like, I think it's very therapeutic, and it's almost like I need to make it. I need to get it out there for myself, and then hopefully someone else will find joy in it too.
And connect.
It'll help them connect.
Yeah,
they can connect with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think very much that's how people would react to your work.
Yeah,
it's personal, but it's also giving space for other people to find it personal. Yeah,
like I'd like to think of my work hanging in someone's house and they come home and it just makes them smile. Like that's kind of my dream image of how people would perceive it when it's hanging in their home.
Yeah, love it. And I'm pretty sure people would feel like that and respond like that. Oh, well, thank you so much, Valerie. I've loved coming into the big smoke, the big city, and seeing you in your lovely apartment and seeing your work in real life.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been such a joy chatting to you.
Thank you. You too.